Hi YouTube, it's Kathy and I'm here to finally do the drunk book tag. I've actually been meaning to do this since it was created 3 years ago by Chelsea Darling Reads and Julie from Pages and Pens, and just never got around to it because I'm not really good at doing my tags. I did once do the Drunken book tag with my friend Paige, which I'll link down below, but that is a different book tag. There are 10 questions. I have not looked at them recently, so it's going to be a surprise to me and to you, and I'm gonna have to come up with something on the fly, so let's just get into it. Number 1 is wine coolers. You're 16 and you finally managed to sneak one of your mom's Smirnoff Ices. What is one of your most guilty pleasure reads? Firstly, my mom is a kokanee girl, and secondly, I wouldn't have been sneaking it at 16 because I didn't start drinking until 19, which is the legal drinking age where I live, because I tended to be the designated driver for everyone. Although, I can actually show you the first alcohol I ever drank. I'm getting so sidetracked already, but we're gonna do it. This little bottle of cherry liqueur was the first thing I ever drank. It was a present from some billets who came over from Germany, hence why it's in German. But the second thing I ever drank was Bacardi Breezers, which is basically Smirnoff Ice, so yeah, this tracks. Anyway, I think I'm stalling because I don't really believe in guilty pleasure reads, because if it makes you happy to read a thing, why don't you just read the thing? So with that cop-out, I'm just gonna move on to question number 2. Question number 2 is beer. You've made it to college and you're hosting your first kegger. You don't know me at all, do you? Pick your favorite new adult or college-aged book. I mean, I can't take it off my shelf because this couch is in the way, but are we surprised? Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston is my favorite new adult book. Just hands down favorite. And to clarify, I have been to keggers, but I definitely didn't host them. Although I think I was technically in college that time my friend hosted a kegger so she could shoot a music video, which I will link down below. Number 3 is tequila. You've partied too hard last night and drank a little too much Jose Cuervo. What's a book that you will never want to see again, or your least favorite book? For this, I'm gonna have to go with Feast of Sparks, which is the second in the Thornchapel series. This book. I mean, it started out real great. I really liked the writing, I still really liked the characters, but the way it ended was a garbage fire, and I just can't. Number 4 is beer pong. What's a book that you read super fast? There's lots of graphic novels I've read all in one sitting, the most recent one of those being Agnes Murderess. It is quite a thick graphic novel and it's quite tall as well, but I read it all in my bathtub one Wednesday. This one is about a historical figure named Agnes who was born in the Hebrides in Scotland in the mid-1800s and eventually moved to Canada and was working at a hotel that she owned during the gold rush, and there was some murdering happening. You might have guessed that based on the title, totally not a spoiler. Number 5 is Spring Break. You've thrown your inhibitions to the wind and end up having a sexy night you'll never forget. What is your favorite smutty read? Oh good gosh, I don't have a favorite, do I? I mean, I feel like it's a cop-out to say A Lesson in Thorns because I just talked about its sequel and how trash it was, so I want to answer something else, even though that one was really good. Part of me wants to just be a complete rebel and talk about the opposite of my favorite smutty read, which is Upside Down by N.R. Walker, which is about 2 asexual guys falling in love, which is great. But that wasn't the question. I'm doing so bad at these questions. Let's go with a smutty novella I read this year called Caroline's Heart by Austen Chant. This takes place in 1875 in the Old West between a cowboy and a witch. It's just really short, it's 96 pages, it's wonderful, it's queer as heck, go read it. Number 6 is Screwdriver. What's the most twisted book you've ever read? We're halfway through the tag and I'm starting to feel like I really should have prepared things ahead of time. For this I'm going to go with I Let You Go by Claire Mackenzie. Anything by her actually would fit this bill because it's incredibly twisty and turny and I really enjoy it and I cannot wait to read more. Number 7 is Long Island Iced Tea, the melting pot of alcoholic beverages. So true. What is one of your favorite diverse reads? For this I'm going to go with Heart and Soul by Erin Kinsella. This is the first in a series. It's the only one that's out so far, but I thoroughly enjoyed this. This is about Tessa, who wrote a book that is being turned into a dramatization in Korea. She is part Korean and part Brazilian, but she goes to Korea and she doesn't realize that the person that's going to be playing the main love interest in her drama is actually her bias from her favorite K-pop group. So that's a thing. This is incredibly diverse, not just because of the Asian and mixed race identities, but also the different sexualities that you'll find throughout all of these characters. I cannot wait to read the rest of this series. Number 8 is Sex on the Beach, a drink that's great in theory, but wasn't exactly all it was cracked up to be. What's a book that just didn't live up to the hype? I mean, one I read a while ago that everyone seemed to love but just didn't work for me because of the formatting of it was Circe by Madeline Miller. Like, I really enjoyed the writing, I like her writing a lot, but I think that if it had been formatted as though it was a series of short stories, which is really what it was, I would have liked it better, but just the way it was formatted, I just kept going, when is this book going to end? And because I was listening to it as an audiobook and didn't have like a page gauge, I didn't really know when it was going to end. And that got tiresome. So if it had been formatted more like Norse mythology by Neil Gaiman with different chapter headings and that type of thing, maybe I would have liked it better, but because it felt like it was supposed to be this one big flowing story, which it can't be when you're talking about stories over thousands of years, yeah, that. Like I said, great writing, but it lost me because of the formatting. Number 9 is wine. I hope they did that on purpose. You've just got through a rough breakup, so you park yourself in bed with your favorite bottle of wine, some ice cream, and a bucket for your tears. Name a book that made you cry out all of your feels. One book I remember reading all in one day and crying during just because it had so much representation in it and so many feels for the characters was Queens of Geek by Jen Wilde. I really enjoyed that one. Again, it's something that's set at a con, which is a setting that I really enjoy. It had a couple of different perspectives. One of the perspectives was queer, one of the perspectives was autistic. These are both things that Jen Wilde has within themselves, so I enjoyed that. I think I cried because I loved how incredibly seen people felt, and that was lovely. And number 10 is Strip Club. What's the sexiest naked book? There are a lot of fine-ass sexy hardbacks out there, let me tell you, but my favorite are actually hardbacks that don't come with dust jackets, and it's just the hardback, and the hardback itself is real sexy, so let me see if I can find the one I'm thinking of. Of course it's at the bottom of this giant stack of books. Of course it is. You know what? No, I'm gonna do myself grievous bodily harm if I try to get that book from the bottom of this stack of books that is up past my head. So I'm not gonna do it right now. But I am going to show you a picture of it. This is a naked hardback. Absolutely adore it. Everything that is designed for any Joseph Fink book is just really gorgeous. And there you have it. It took me forever, but I finally did the drunk book tag. If you haven't done this tag before and you want to do this tag, you are now tagged. Also, if you're watching this on the day it's posted or shortly thereafter, I'm actually posting 34 videos this month in celebration of the fact that I am turning 34 this month. So if you haven't checked out the other videos in that series, that playlist will be linked down below. Have you read any of these books and do you agree with my assessment of them? Let me know about it down in the comments below. If you don't feel like leaving a comment but want to let me know that you were here, just leave me an emoji or a smiley face on your keyboard if you're on your computer. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. If you're watching this in real time, I will see you tomorrow. Bye!